we will go ahead and get started. I know you all have a, well, I don't know that, but I'm pretty sure if you're like me, you have a busy day ahead of you. Looking forward to the weekend. Want to get the stuff done. So we'll go ahead and get started. I want to thank you all for joining our Southeast Region Stakeholder DBE Stakeholder Advisory Committee meeting today. We will first get started with welcoming everyone, allowing you to introduce yourself, your name, and where you work, and if you're a DBE at all, if you could please let us know that as well. All right. And so we're going to go with my little rectangles. And so we're going to start with Christina. She wasn't expecting.
Have to take my thing off. No, I started and then I had I was mute. I'm Christina Crane and I am with M Squared Engineering, who is a DBE engineering consultant. And I am also a consultant for WisDOT, and I work with the utilization program and both the DBE stakeholders.
All right. Thank you, Christina. We appreciate the work you do for us. Andrew?
Must be me. Good morning.
Yeah.
Andy Kowski. I work for HNTB. We're a engineering architecture planning firm and offices in Milwaukee, Madison, and Green Bay. And we're currently in the mentor protege program, but we're wrapping up our relationship with Span & Associates. It's coming up on the 2-year anniversary, which is when they kind of end. So maybe there's a new one in the future for us. Good to see everybody.
Yep, all right. Thank you, Andy. John Anderson?
I'm coming. Good morning, everyone. John Anderson with WRTP Big Step. We are one of the HSCT providers. Welcome.
I'm gonna meddle with you, John. What's your acronym?
Highway Construction Training Skills.
Right, I think you said HSC.
HCST.
Because you like the
Highway
skills before the construction, is that
training.
it? But yeah, HCST. Thank you, John. I'm, like I said, I'm meddling.
That's all good.
I know you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate the love.
All right. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Maggie Gibbings. I'm a labor development specialist with the State of Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
All right. John Swan.
Good morning, all. John Swan, the third, Labor's Local 113, Secretary Treasurer here. Glad to be part of the team.
All right. Thank you for joining us. And
good morning, Ann Nishak with Arrowcrete Construction, DBE that does concrete work.
All right. Thank you, Ann, for joining. David Hubbard.
Good morning. I'm David Hubbard. I am the Business Relationship Manager for the Department of Transportation. I also co-chair this committee with Tandra.
All right. Thank you. Marquise.
Good morning. Marquise Young, DBE utilization engineer with OBOC under Tandra Davis.
All right. Thank you, Marquise. Amerfi Rodriguez.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I am Amerfi Rodriguez, the proud owner of AR Welding Solutions, which is a minority and women-owned welding repair company in Milwaukee. We provide high-quality welding repair services.
All right.
And
thank you for.
We are DVD certified.
Sure. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank
Brenda
you.
Schoenfeld.
Brenda Schoenfeld with HNTB. I work with Andy Kowski, and we are working on our mentor protege, finishing that up. We're also going to be working with Roslyn on some DBE support services with a new master contract. So we're excited to work more with the DBE office.
All right. We're excited as well. Thank you. Manny?
Good morning, everyone. Manny Carrera with WisDOT DBE Certified Analyst.
Wonderful. Rosalind Roberson?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Rosalind Roberson, DB Support Services, over here in our new office in Glendale.
Yay. All right.
Nice.
Thank you, Roz. Jenna McDade?
Good morning, everyone. I am Jenna. I am the Milwaukee Region Director for WRTP Big Step, working with John on HCST trainings here in the Milwaukee area.
All right. Thank you, Jenna. David?
Morning. I assume that was me.
I'm
David
sorry.
Nguyen, David Nguyen, Southeast Region Project Chief.
All right, we're on a first name basis. My apologies. Sean? Rossi?
Sean Race.
Rice. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Sean Race. Good morning, everybody. Sean Race, Southeast Freeways Construction Supervisor.
All right, thank you. And we have Jeff Johnson. Jeff, you're on mute. All right, we can come back to you. Then we have Roberto Gutierrez, or Bob.
Hey, Bob Gutierrez, Southeast Region Director. Welcome, everybody.
All right.
Thank you.
Mino? Say that back.
Good morning. Meenal Ham, M Squared Engineering, and we support Rosalind and the DB Support Services.
Thank you. And then we have Jay.
Morning, everybody. I'm Jay Bowman. I'm the DOT, DBE, GFE.
All right.
Just in case you didn't get enough acronyms, GFE stands for the Good Faith Effort.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jay. I love it. Yes, we are all about, with WisDOT, we're all about the acronyms, right? All right, we got Cole.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Cole Berge from Kane Communications Group, formerly Leonard and Finkel Public Relations. Some of you might recognize that name instead. We merged about 1.5 years ago now. We have offices in Green Bay, Milwaukee, and believe it or not, Geneva, Switzerland. And we do quite a bit of, we are certified DBE as well as a certified B Corp company. And we do quite a bit of work with WisDOT projects around the state, usually partnering with engineering firms to do so.
All right, if you need me to help you out in Switzerland, I would definitely volunteer. Just let me know.
I'll see if we can't make a fact finder.
John McCune.
Hey everyone, John from Program Controls for Mega Majors in the Southeast for DOT.
All right, awesome. Madeline McLean.
Project manager per Payne and Dolan in the Southeast region.
Okay, thank you. Bruce, I'm surprised you're up. I know they celebrated. Oh no, I got it wrong. That's Randy. Sorry. I'm sure you have been a DB for a long time too, but I'm speaking to Randy Crump. I was at their celebration last night. Bruce Spann.
Yes, hello. I was signed up to attend his event last night as well, but wasn't able to make it at the last minute. But Bruce Spann with Spann and Associates. Yeah, we're 10 years younger than Prism.
Okay.
We've been in business 19 years, and in large measure, it's been through the support of the DBE program and the DOT, and especially firms like HNTB. We're very happy about our mentor protege opportunity that is winding up, and from Andy's lips to God's ears, if we can have it renewed, we are certainly on board with that or any other opportunities. But thank you.
All right, Roz, let's see if she can make that happen. All right. Kim Collins.
So good morning, Tandra and everyone. Nice to see you all.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry.
It's been a while.
Let me be professional.
So, yes, so I'm Kim Collins, and I know a couple of my HNTV colleagues introduced themselves previously, both Andy and Brenda. And I'm just glad to join the group this morning. So we do have as Brenda mentioned, we do have a supportive services work that will start sometime after the first of the new year. And certainly want to continue to stand up Tandra and be supportive to the WisDOT Civil Rights Office there and the DBE program. So glad to be here. Good to see you all.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kim. Lamont Robinson, one of our UCP partners.
Yes, thank you. Lamont Robinson, Milwaukee County Office of Economic Inclusion. Just saying good morning to everyone.
Good morning. Thank you for joining. Tim McMurtry, the second.
Thank you for such a magnanimous intro. Good morning, everyone. Tim McMurtry here, Executive Director, Infrastructure Business Development for the National Association of Minority Contractors, NAMAC, Wisconsin for short. NAMAC is the oldest and largest minority-owned construction trade association in the United States. Founded in 1969 in Oakland, California. I'm driving my way to the office. So good morning, glad to be here. Looking forward to today's meeting. And I will turn the camera and mic off until I get to the office. Thank you.
All right, no worries. Thank you, Tim. Deb Evers.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Deb Evers, Southeast Region Consultant Service.
You broke up a bit, Deborah, but I know that you are on the Southeast region, their team. So thank you. Jeff Bowen.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Jeff Bowen with WisDOT. I'm the Southeast Freeways, Southeast Region, Southeast Freeways Design Chief. So I'll give an update on 94 East West today. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. We're happy you're joining us. And last but not least, Libby Ogard.
Hi, my name is Libby Ogard, and I've been a DBE for 20 years, and thank you for including me today.
All right, thank you for joining us. And I was incorrect because we have someone else. We have Bumi Olapo.
Good morning, Bumi Olapo, Project Development Section Chief, Wisconsin DOT, Southeast Region.
All right, thank you. Did I miss anyone? Speak now or forever hold your peace. No? Okay. And I'm remiss in that I did not introduce myself. I am Tandra Davis. I'm the Director of the Office of Business Opportunity and Equity Compliance, and that is where our DBE program is housed. So truly we appreciate you all joining us today. And as he mentioned, David Hubbard, he and I are co-facilitators for this Stakeholder Advisory Committee. So we will move into approving our notes from our last meeting. Christina sent them out to us all, and she will put them up on the screen for those of you who may not have had a chance to look at them thus far. And we'll just take just a couple minutes to glance through those and get approval. Christina, if you could put them up, please.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the right.
Okay. Maybe I can.
Not giving me.
Not getting off.
Green, it's not giving me. Let me just see. I'll move them.
Okay, there we are.
Do you see them?
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll just take a couple minutes. Christina, if
And
you could slowly scroll, that'd be wonderful.
Make them bigger a little bit. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So then I'm just kind of going through everybody that was present. We did the welcome, the project updates, and the upcoming opportunities.
Then we went, Marquise did the attainment report, and then we heard from Marguerite or Maggie that on the labor, sorry, that jumped. And then after that, we did our breakout sessions. And then we had the announcement of the annual summit coming up, and the meeting was adjourned. Does anybody want me to like zone in on any other areas?
I think we should be good. Does anyone want to make the motion to approve
I'll make
the
a motion
notes
to
from
approve.
last time?
John Anderson, motion to approve.
Thank you, John. Any second?
I'll
second that motion.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm like, are they that bad? No, I'm kidding. So it's been properly moved and seconded. Are you ready for the vote? All in favor, either you can raise your hand or you can say affirmatively. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Right, I think I'm seeing enough ayes that we will approve the notes from our meeting, our last meeting. Thank you. So now we will move in the agenda to having our Southeast region led by Bob Gutierrez. They will give us an update on the projects.
Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about our consultant services budget with Deb and any opportunities that are upcoming, and then we'll talk through some of our design projects and upcoming LUTs for the East-West, and then we'll talk with Sean a little bit about the Backbone program, and then I want to wrap it all up with a celebration with David Wen and the I-43 team and all the great accomplishments there. So with that, Deb, any updates on the consultant services side?
Yeah, I think everybody is on the email list. So you should have gotten the notice for the construction fair preview that came out yesterday. So what that does is that shows all the packages that we're going to be advertising for construction oversight services for the 2026 season. So if anybody didn't see that email, maybe just shoot me a note in the chat and we'll make sure you get on that email distribution list. And just a reminder that for any firm that wants to be considered as a prime, you do need to participate in the construction fair, which is in September. And that all that information is on with that preview as well. So just make sure that you get your NOIs in so you can participate in that fair, so you can be considered. So any questions?
Thank you, Deb. That's fantastic news. And of course, we've got with the new biennium budget, we've got a new budget for our consultants this year too. So lots of opportunities coming up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, let's talk a little bit about. Let's go to Jeff Bowen on the East-West and a little bit of update on some upcoming the project itself and then upcoming LUTs in September.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Good morning again, everyone. Tondra, can I steal the screen for a second? Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks. I just wanted to show a little bit about the project. You folks have seen this before, but it's easier for me to talk with a picture to point at. So where we're at on 94 East-West right now, we're still basically in the design phase, but we're moving to construction here real quick. I wanted to point out, if you could see my cursor on the east end of our map here, there's a little orange project that's called our Early East Leg project. That's going to be let this September, yet this fall. And then there's a blue project on the west end, which we aptly named the West Leg. That project is going to be let this fall as well. So with the governor's budget and the state budget recently getting signed in early July, we're moving forward with both of those projects. They are fairly large. The West Leg project in blue is a very large project. The orange one, the early East Leg, is more of a structures project, and there's some work on St. Paul in preparation for our East Leg project coming in 2027. So I think there's a variety of opportunity there for all kinds of different contractors, whether it's, bridge, earthwork, trucking, you name it. We've got a lot of different items and a lot of variety on these two projects. So I think there's good opportunity there. I alluded to the yellow project, the East Leg project on the east end. That is going to be right now scheduled for construction to start in 27, and then followed by the red project in the middle. The big one, the stadium interchange, is out in like 2029 right now. So all of that future stuff is subject to change. But I just wanted you folks to know when some of that stuff's going to be hitting the streets. I'm going to stop sharing now, Tandra. And then I just wanted to also mention that our group is going to be at the State Fair again. We have a booth almost every year. So stop by. We're in the big expo center every day. We'll have our model out there of the interchange that I think some of you folks have seen before. Feel free to ask questions, get information on the project, or just say hi to us. We like to say hi to nice folks, so stop by. And then also we have a newsletter going out if it hasn't already. So maybe some of you folks are on that list. Take a look for it. Otherwise, you can get that same information on our website. So that's what I've got for today, Bob.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, we're really excited that obviously the funding did come through on the state budget side. Like Jeff said, the West project is very large, magnitude of 150, somewhere in that range. We can't give you guys actual numbers, but we can kind of give you a magnitude. But you'll see that a lot of the we're hoping that a lot of the folks that were on the I-43 project that finished up will come down and take a look at this opportunity and bid on that project. So thank you, Jeff. Any questions on East West? All right, we will go with Boomy. Boomy, why don't you give us just a quick and dirty update a little bit on the 175 program that you've got going. Of course, Boomy handles the entire most of the SHR program also for us, but he can maybe give a little update of where we're at with State Highway 175, if you can, Boomy.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. The 175 that starts from the stadium interchange on the south end, going to the Lisbon Avenue. Currently, that's a study project that we've actually currently in the reports. The report is currently under review right now. The study has been completed, but we're doing the review of the report through the FHWA. Hopefully that will be completed by late September or October. So at this time, that's what we have. If the project gets funded, we'll go to the next phase.
Great. Thank you, Boomy.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So now we'll talk a little bit about our backbone program. If you haven't driven the Southeast Freeways, you've noticed that we have a large large construction projects going on all over our system in our backbone program, which is our preservation program. And I think, Sean, you're going to maybe give a little update on where we're at with several of those projects for Southeast region construction.
Yeah, definitely. Jason Lynch is out this week, so I'm going to take over for that. And like Bob said, we have But saying we have a lot going on, I think is an understatement, and you'll see with some upcoming projects as well as 94 East West. I think once we get into October time period, I feel like we might have the entire freeway system kind of under construction for a bit of time. So obviously really, really busy right now. I'm just gonna share a couple details here and then we'll kind of talk through each project. So the first one on the list here, this is 894 84th Street to Lincoln. So this was let this past early spring. Zenatech is the prime contractor. Really, this is kind of doing similar work that the other 894 project that I'll talk about shortly, which is wrapping up. I mean, it's a lot of base patching and resurfacing from 84th Street up through the Hale all the way up to Lincoln, kind of where the zoo interchange left off. Right now, kind of current activities, there's a lot of nightly lane closures for base patching. They've done some asphalt work. You can kind of see on their DBE goal was 8%, and the current commitment's a little less than that, pretty close. This project's going to have, like I said, it's nightly lane closures now, but there's going to be some more significant impacts as we get after Labor Day weekend. There's a couple system ramps in the Hale that'll close for 45 days for some deck overlays, and then there's actually 4 weekend full closures to get all the asphalt paving done on that north-south segment. So this will be pretty busy all the way through this year for the freeway work, and then a lot of the structure maintenance work in the Hale will take place all the way through next year. And then I mentioned that other 894 project that's 35th Street to 84th, basically between the Mitchell and the Hale. Zignego was the prime on that. That job is wrapping up. Really all that's left is some permanent payment markings a little bit, and then just some punch list. And you can see kind of the DBE numbers on that, and that job should be pretty much wrapped up hopefully in the next few weeks here. And then it's still ongoing, but the I-43 Brown to Capitol project, that job's actually gonna be wrapping up shortly. All that's really left is some high friction surface treatment and some pavement markings. You kind of see the numbers with this project as a pretty substantial backbone project, and yeah, it'll be nice to get that one and the 894 East West segment done just with all the other projects starting up. And then we have I-41 Burleigh to Silver Spring. That project was let last fall. That started this spring. Anybody who drives through there, realizes that's quite impactful. We're down to 2 lanes in each direction. Right now, traffic's pushed towards the median, and they're working on a lot of the outside work. There's a lot of storm sewer, roadway. Got Aerocrete up there doing barrier wall and some curb and gutter, and then Arbor Green's doing a lot of overhead signage. That project, there's a couple issues with railroad. That project's going to actually go through. We're hoping to get back to 3 lanes in each direction by this winter, and then there's going to be quite a bit of carryover work through the middle of next year in that area. Kind of see some numbers here with that one as well. The DBE goal was 10%, and current commitment is 10.3%. And then there's actually a couple projects that were let in July, have not started yet, have not had pre-cons yet. This first one is I-41. This kind of continues from the Burleigh to Silver Spring segment. This is doing similar work, Silver Spring all the way up to Good Hope. That project should start this fall. You can see the DB goal was 8%, the commitment's 8.1%. Obviously there's nothing paid to date or anything because that project just was let, and didn't have the pre-con yet, but the prime contractor on that project is Zignego. And then the last one, the Mitchell interchange resurfacing. So we're kind of getting to the point now where we're gonna resurface all the asphalt through the Mitchell interchange. I think, that kind of wrapped up in 2011, 2012. We're kind of getting to the point now where it needs resurfacing. That job was just let in July, like I mentioned, and Rock Road's actually the prime contractor for that. They do a lot of work in Southwest, but coming up here a little bit to get stuff done. The DBE goal for that project was 8%, and currently the commitment's 10.9%. Pre-con will be probably next month into August, and then there's going to be some work starting up in the fall. But yeah, that's quite a bit of work coming up here.
Thanks, Sean. Any questions for Sean? And as you see, just when you think maybe a large asphalt job would go to one of the large asphalt companies, it goes to Rock Road with kind of a different. So we just love the the competition out there to keep our prices in check on all our projects. So now we're gonna shift over to a little bit of celebration with David Wen and Andy Kowski. David led the team with Manajoy Nag as the design leader and Jay Obenberger as the construction leader, and we celebrated the major completion of that project. But I'll let David talk a little on that, and then Andy, if you can give us a few words on how HNTV's design leadership on that project really helped us to achieve the success that we see today. So, David.
Sure. Good morning. I was not expecting this, by the way. We don't like talking about ourselves, right, Andy? So anyway, yeah, but as Bob mentioned, we had a project ribbon cutting last week, Tuesday, on July 15. It was a celebration of reconstruction of I-43. Actually, it's an expansion from 4 lanes to 6 lanes between Silver Spring to Highway 60. The project completed on time and under budget. Governor Evers and the TPC committed $550 million for that project, of which $415 million were in LETs. And the balance of that, obviously, was for engineering, real estate, and utilities, and other miscellaneous items. Of the 71 million of the 415 was spent during construction toward the DBE companies. We have paid out 96% of that. Billing is obviously lagging. It's always lagging. Close to 100 companies collaborated with us to build this project. And most of those companies are based here in Wisconsin. And obviously, with the great leadership of Andy Kowski and his team, partnering with firms like Kapoor, Jacobs, Spam, and Bloom, and many other companies to put the plants on the shelf, and obviously many other firms for construction management. With that, Andy, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, just congrats to the department for the successful completion with it. David and his team, you mentioned Monajoy, but Steve Hoff was the project manager and out in construction. Jay Obenberger and Tom Erdman deserve a shout out too. We were the lead designers, but it was a team effort with a lot of sub-consultants, including DBEs. David mentioned Span and Associates and Bloom, but Lakeside was also a DBE, DeVore Communications, Lynch and Associates, Gestra. So it was a team effort, and a big part of our success and with getting the design work done was the involvement of DBE firms. So great experience for us and our subs, and the reason we were able to succeed was because of the great leadership from the department and the teamwork that the department displayed with. It spans 2 counties, so Milwaukee County, Ozaukee County. There's 10 municipalities along the corridor, so a lot of stakeholder outreach and coordination was needed to do the job and get it done on time and under budget. So well done to everyone involved. And and I wasn't involved with construction, but I do know that there are a lot of DBE firms involved on the construction side of things too. So shout out to all the firms that were subs to the prime contractors out in the field.
And one more thing I would like to add. although we did not have a DBE goal for design, Andy and his team went out of their way to add companies to the project to kind of help them grow and develop their engineering skills. So I was very happy to see that from Andy and his team.
Yeah, fantastic. So, yeah, David, congratulations on that, and everybody on this call too, because really from Tandra, your group helping with identifying those DVEs and then labor compliance and getting those goals set. Really great shout out to your team, Tandra, and yourself on helping us fulfill that. Yeah, take a drive out there. It's incredible. WTBA, well, Wisconsin Transportation Builders put out a maybe we can get that in the chat. They put out a link for a really nice flyover on that project. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, I think with that, I think we're done. Unless
Tandra, one last thing.
Okay.
Sure,
You know what
David.
the good news about this, Tandra?
What
It'll
is
be
the
the
good
last
news?
time I'm reporting out on I-43.
Okay. You're doing the checklist, right? But no, thank you, Bob, for giving us accolades, but we certainly have to thank you all. We certainly appreciate your efforts and support of the DBE program, and us being able to meet goals there is certainly dependent upon your help and your staff, and yeah, this is wonderful. So thank you. All right.
You're welcome. Thank you. Bye-bye now.
All right. That said, we're going to go ahead and move on in our agenda, and we will have our DBE utilization update and DBE attainment report, please. Marquise Young.
Tandra, it looks like Bruce has his hand up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Bruce, my apologies.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have, at the end of Bhumi's presentation, I should have asked then, but he mentioned that we're looking for if there's funding available for the next phase of 175, then we'll move forward with that. Has the governor's budget included any dollars for the next phase of 175?
So Bhumi's off. I can answer that. Yeah, basically the next it will be incorporated in our SHR program. So it's not specifically spelled out or anything like that. So we will look to our SHR program to kind of move forward on that project, hopefully. So yeah.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
You bet.
All right. Thank you for that question, Bruce. Any other questions, comments for the regional report on the projects?
Yeah, this is
All right.
John Swan
Yes.
III with the Laborers
John.
Union. I just want to let everyone know we appreciate everything. This is going to put a lot of members to work in our area, and we're going to be, helping the contractors succeed on this. So I just want to say thank you to everyone, because this is going to pretty much put all my members to work. So thank you again.
That's great. Great to hear, John. We appreciate you and your efforts for that. All right. Seeing no more questions or hands up, Marquise.
All right, let me share my screen. Good morning again, everyone.
Morning.
All right. All right, so I'll be discussing DBE, if I can change the slide, the DBE attainment report, as well as the utilization report. Also touch on some DBE opportunities for this upcoming solicitations on the consultant side, and then we'll look at kind of how we're doing on a couple of projects in the Southeast region, just to highlight the DBE participation and where we are with that. And so first with the DBE attainment report, and so this report is through the July bid letting as well as June's modifications and the consultant services numbers as well. And so we're overall the DBE for the Wisconsin DOT, the DBE program is doing quite well with the participation, with the DBE commitments. And so our Fed funds for construction and consultant a little bit under $919 million from year to date. As far as with our DB commitments, as with consultant from year to date, a little bit under $21 million. And so when we put the DB commitments, and so those are commitments that we receive at the time of bid, and then plus the modifications. So that's after the project has got started. The modifications, the added work, the reduction of work with construction. So we're at a little bit over $111 million, bringing us a grand total of 100 and close to $132 million with the consultant and the construction commitment from year to date as well. And so when we look at just our modifications with the utilization report, just to look at how we did this past year as far as with the number of requests that we received. So there's modifications that come, maybe there's a reduction, maybe there's additional work of different requests that we received. We received 138 this past month. The ones that we're currently reviewing, getting additional documentation and investigating, those are 59 of those. Those that we're in the middle of processing, getting those ready to get for approval are 70. And then we do have 16 that's ready to sign to be approved. And so the total number this past June of approvals for modifications were 70 approvals that we made. And so that's totaling a little bit under $1 million with $987,000, and bringing our total a little bit under $18 million from year to date. So those are all the modifications, the additional work, the added on work as well to our projects. And so we can kind of see where we're at this time last year, a little bit over $1 million from this time last year with that. So as stated, certainly a lot of uncertainty on the federal level, but certainly on the state level, that the DBE participation has been doing well. So I see DJ, let me get this last point and then we'll let you ask your question or have your comment. And so our overall DBE attainment report, as far as with our federal funds, we're sitting at 14.35%. So we're exceeding very well of our federal goal of 12.42%. So we're doing well in that regards. And also just a disclaimer about these numbers, they're subject to change due to federal funding, modifications, bid lettings, those different things that's outside of our control with these numbers. So any comments? I do see DJ, can't see the whole name. Oh, Dwayne Johnson. Yes.
Morning, Marquise. Apologize, I joined late. Is there, if this is a repeat, please, my apologies, but any discussion on federal redistribution coming the end of September?
Not that I'm aware of. I know there was a number of projects that did get federal funds did get distributed to other projects or later, and then some projects did have the federal funds removed. But as far as our numbers, they are are doing quite well with that. So we don't foresee any more. I know we got another month in this federal fiscal year, so we're
Yep.
sitting pretty for this
Right.
year. I'm not sure
So,
if Tandra knows a little bit more.
No, I'm going to actually kick it to Bob. Bob, are you aware of any thing going on with the redistribution? I don't know that we've talked about it recently in our director team meetings.
Yeah, it's more of a DTIM thing, but
Okay.
I do believe that and the hard part, Dwayne, is I don't know what buckets, what new buckets those will have, but there looks like there will be some redistribution funds, and of course the federal fiscal year ends in October. I think you can go all the way to November on
Yep.
utilizing those. But yeah, look for some information coming up from DTIM and those. But yeah, it looks like that there will be some redistribution funding again this year. But
Yep.
like I said, I don't know what
We don't know. Yeah.
the buckets will look like. It's a different administration, right? So stay tuned.
That was actually why I asked the question with the new administration, Bob, and I know
Yeah.
the department is always well positioned for redistribution, and they're trying to claw back dollars and things. So just curious. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. Any other questions? Comments? Did want to highlight with the group with this upcoming solicitations that's coming up next month, next couple of weeks. I think the next couple of days, this information should be already out. But there is a project in the Southeast region with a bridge rehabilitation with the Milwaukee River to the Car Ferry Drive. There is a DBE goal, $200,000 DBE goal that's set on that project as well. And if there's any consultant firms or anyone to migrate out west as well, there are opportunities out there as well on the consultant side with some DBE projects, some consultant projects as well. So any comments or questions with that?
Yeah, Marquise, this is Deb. I just wanted to add to that. Yeah, so we're doing an interview for that project, and that too came out in the August preview. Those interviews are for design are on September 9th. So yeah, smaller firms or DBE firms, if you're looking to get on any teams, go ahead and start talking to some primes, maybe those who primarily do structures work, because that is primarily a structures design project.
Yeah, thanks.
You bet.
All right, and then last wanted to highlight a couple of projects in the Southeast region. The Airport Freeway Hill Interchange project, as well as the I-41 Airport Freeway to 84th Street to 35th Street. And then 43 North-South Freeway from Brown to Capitol Drive, as well as, so we set DBE goals on the average, so it's about 9.38% of DBE goals set on that project. So we have achieved, and usually kudos to the DBE farms out in the Southeast region. Usually it's high achievers that overachieve the DBE goals as well. So from year to date, sitting at currently at 9.95%. So that's over $19 million DBE commitments that have been achieved. And so just a breakdown on those projects, just to look at just the percentages as far as with the nationalities of the DBE firms. We see that Native Americans are leading the way as far as with DBE commitments. And roughly is a change from the non-minority female that usually in the other regions are leading, have the bigger chunk of the pie. So the Native Americans with the 58% of the DBE commitments, as well, followed by the Hispanic Americans with 25%. And then we have the subcontinent Asian Americans at 9%, and then Black Americans at 7%, as far as with the breakdown of the DBE commitments. So in the Southeast, and then it's just same information, just a different way, just to look at the work types of which work types are performing the well, with the biggest DBE commitments. So we have the erosion control, non-minority female, as well as with the trucking, and then with the Hispanic, with trucking as well, and then Native American, quite a few with the sewer, saw cutting, the barrier wall labor label as well. So this is just a breakdown of the work types. Any questions or anything with that? Before I turn it back over to Tandra. All right, here's my contact information if anyone has any questions or want to get a hold of myself. Yes, Christina. Yep.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in. It's not related. I'm noticing when the breakout sessions, I have 3 people that I'm getting a message they won't be able to go into a breakout room. So I thought I'd just bring that up now. And one of them is Tim McMurtry. And I know we need him he's one of the chairs on the business group. So wanted to try to get that resolved. And I also have Libby and Ogard and Amara Rodriguez that is saying they won't be able to go into a breakout room. I did a little investigating, and it says if you're like on a phone or unsupported devices, sometimes you won't be able to get into breakout rooms. So I don't know if somebody's on their phone, or that also said if you're using an older version of Teams that you might not be able to get into breakout rooms. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up before we got to the part of the breakout sessions and people couldn't get in there.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that heads up, Christina. I hope I can get in there today. I started to call out on my phone on my way to the office, but I'm on my MacBook Air now. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I'm able to get in to it. Are there any, let's say, secondary remedies if we do run into a similar glitch that we've had?
Do you think maybe he could leave and return, Christina? Hopefully that will resolve.
That's what I was wondering, if they want to like jump off and try to come back in, and then I can watch the chat, and I will put in the chat once I'm seeing you that it's letting me say you're accepted.
Okay. Well, I will jump off and jump back on.
Thank you, Christina, for bringing that to our attention. We certainly need our subcommittee leader to be in the breakout session.
Yeah,
all right.
I didn't want to wait until the last minute to bring that up. So
no, that was very wise of you. Thank you. So we will move on. Thank you, Marquise, for that report. We're going to move on to the labor portion of labor utilization in the Southeast region. Maggie.
Thank you, Tandra. Let's see here. I'm just going to cut my camera momentarily while I share. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes. I will.
Yes, could you make it just a bit bigger if you don't mind?
Yeah. oops. So we'll start with the project 1228, 2270, and the I-43 North-South Freeway. And for our head count, our labor head count for this project, what I did was a breakdown of the quarters of the year, at least the last 3 quarters. So for April through June, there's an increase of 95 employees on this project. There's an increase of 39 minority employees on this project from 495 to 534. There's an increase of 6 females working on the project. There's an increase of 2 minority females from 11 to 13. And we have 9 HCST graduates. That's an increase by 1 graduate. The project did start in March of 2023, so it does show quite an increase as far as head count as well as work hours. As we see for the work hours, I won't do a call out on how much they've increased. They've increased by a lot, but we have increased from 193,890 hours to 220,930 work hours, for total work hours. There's a large increase, my apologies, there's a large increase for the minority hours from 84,000 to 96,000. And there's an increase in female work hours from 4,443 to 5,231 female work hours, as well as a nice amount of HCST hours on the project. There was not a large increase between the quarters of October through December and January through March of 2025, but there is a slight increase for the April through June quarter of 2025. Next project is the 894 84th Street to Lincoln. This project began in April of 2025, and there is no workforce data reflected on this project yet. So there is none for the head count or the work hours. Hoping to see increases in that data pretty soon. I'm quite sure we will. Next project is the I-894 Airport Freeway. That project started in July of 2023. And we do have an increase of 122 total employees, an increase of 60 minority employees from 313 to 373, and an increase in the total number of females on the project by 3. And we sit at the same numbers for our HCST graduates, and that's 6 graduates from last quarter, an increase of 1 from our last year, October through December. Again, we have large increases for our total work hours from 139,000 to 161,000. There's also an increase from our minority work hours from 53,000 to 62,000, and as well as a slight increase in our female work hours from 3,000 to 4,000. And for our HCST work hours, there was quite a large increase from our last quarter, 1,747,000 to 2,457,000 HCST hours. And our last project that I'll be reporting out on right now is I-41 Burleigh to Silver Spring. That project began in October of 2024. There is no data to reflect the October through December of 2024 quarter, but there is data reflecting our 2025 2 quarters of this year. So there's an increase in total number of employees by 267 employees. There's an increase in our total minorities by 94 minorities, and that went from 61 to 155 minority employees. There is an increase from 5 total females working on the project to 11, and there are no HCST hours or HCST employees to reflect, nor HCST hours on this project just yet. A pretty large increase in the total work hours from 3,987 in the first quarter of the year to 33,270 in the second quarter of the year. That's a large increase. Same thing for our minority work hours, increased from 1,838 to 14,000 work hours, and there's an increase in our female work hours from 66 hours to 1,083 hours. Again, no highway construction skills employee hours yet reflecting. I've also listed the upcoming projects that we'll be reporting out on in our next advisory committee meeting, as well as my contact information and my partner Deb, if anyone has questions.
All right, Maggie, thank you for sharing that with us, the labor and the successes that we're having. We appreciate it. Are there any questions or feedback for Maggie? Okay. All right, so we are at the time of our subcommittee breakout sessions, and we are still having the issue with those three persons mentioned. And I'm going to throw it to the group. I think they've logged off and tried to get back in, and they are using the email address that they've have previously used to join. Has anyone else had this type of issue? This is our first time dealing with it, so I don't have any other ideas of what could be wrong. Any techies? No.
I've seen this before and I'm trying to figure it out because I know like I've had Libby and Tim both in different groups before, so I don't know if it's like they logged on with a new email or what's really why it's doing this.
All right. Well, Tim, we'll hope to get you, we'll continue to work on it, but we do have to move forward with the agenda. I know that Tim provided quite a few bullet points of discussion. David Hubbard, he kind of helps Tim out with that. So I think we have plenty to move forward, and then hopefully we will resolve the problem and have Tim join the subcommittee meeting. So that's it. We're going to do the breakouts, but just before that, I do want to kind of speak to WisDOT's stance on some of the federal things you may have heard about with the DBE program. There are injunctions, there's lawsuits. We won't get into the specifics of them, but I just want to let you know that I'm thankful for the leadership team that we have in our administrator's office and our secretary's office and even the governor, and that they do support the DBE program. And so their mantra has been that we will continue to do business as usual. And so you can see even with the projects and everything that we have going on with the DBE program, all the successes we've been able to attain, and that is all through us continuing to do our business as usual. So I just wanted to put that out there. You should also know that, our OGC, Office of General Counsel, they are certainly working with other states and looking at the information and as lawsuits and, things, a lot of balls in the air right now. They are certainly watching for those to see what impact it could have on WisDOT. And then, of course, collaborating with other states to kind of get the best practice and the best, counsel going forward. So all those things are in place, so it may not seem like anything is being done because there's no real statement while all the balls are in the air. It's really hard to, make a decision or even discuss too much because it's all speculation right now. So another ball could be thrown, one ball could drop. We don't know. But as we have decisions or gather information that we feel affects WisDOT, we will certainly share that information broadly. All right. So that's it. We're going to go ahead and go into our sessions. I did see a chat that hopefully Tim is able to get in now. So we have two subcommittees. One is our business subcommittee chaired by Tim McMurtry and who works with David Hubbard, co-facilitator. And then we also have our labor subcommittee, which is led by John Anderson with assistance from Maggie Gibbons. So with that, unless there are any questions, we're going to go and be moved into our rooms. All right,
All right,
Christina,
let me try
go
this.
for it.
I'm hoping it'll work for everybody.
I should say we will spend 45 minutes. So we'll come back at 11:45.
All right. I think, are we all back, Christina?
I think so, yep.
Okay, it looks like we have a few folks that have dropped off, but okay. So at this point in the agenda, we'll kind of close things out. We'll give a review of the subcommittee breakout sessions, and I can start with the business committee. We had a really good discussion about the mentor protege program. Bruce and Dwayne talked about their experience with HNTB and the good outcomes they have had with them over the past couple of years. He also talked about their experience with Jacobs, Grafe, and some other firms and the successes of pairings and how to make that work and building those relationships. There was also a discussion about participation in the construction fairs, and Brenda from HNTB provided some suggestions for that. And then we had a discussion about kind of breaking barriers and best practices for getting to know the primes, for the DBEs to get to know the primes better. And Anne had talked about speed networking and simply having lunches with the prime contractors and time those accordingly around lettings or other, however the timing presents itself. And then finally, we had a discussion about strategic unbundling opportunities, and Chandra talked about what some experiences we've had and intricacies of that, of unbundling and some of the challenges related to that in terms of liabilities and some other issues that we need to kind of work through. Tim, you want to add anything, or Chandra?
No, I think you did an excellent summary, my friend. Kudos to you for capturing what we discussed.
Sure, thank you. Chandra, anything?
No, nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move to the Labor Committee summary. Maggie, or who will be doing that?
We can let John start off, and then
Okay.
we'll kind of tag team. But I'll let John.
Yeah,
Very
start.
good.
We're gonna tag team.
Go
but
ahead, John.
So I'll jump in first, and then Maggie, hope you'll support me and fill in any gaps or anything I might have left out. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, what we decided the best starting point was for us to revisit our top 2 action items from our last meeting. And in earnest, these are things that I think we have discussed many times and many in this same space. So first was, our discussion around strengthening the connection between the HSCT graduates, and just how to generally increase the knowledge of us having this ready and willing workforce, ready to go workforce. So what we did is I asked, Maggie helped me to share in review of the most recent summer 2025 DBE reporter. If those who have it or can reference it, if you flip through, you'll find, I believe, starting on page 11, situated by region, there's actually this year a list of all the HCST graduates, their graduation date, their trade of interest, and their email address. And so I was just using that as support to say it looks like we already have a living document, something that's been coordinated and is being shared, even if it is vis-a-vis the newsletter, that, this information, it always exists, because we're always like, well, how do we coalesce? How do we get this together? And so I just wanted to bring to the forefront of our group that, like, hey, here's a resource just dropped in our lap. And then it was, how do we then send this list or a link to primes with the bid letting documents. Is that something we can do? We also, Maggie, we've talked about considering the fact that the HCST providers are required to submit monthly reports that have all graduate information. If we can maybe take this and create a spreadsheet or a living document that could be updated so that the list doesn't get stale. And so that's just a follow-up item, with Maggie, where we're going to see, how do we explore that and implement that? And I'm sure probably we'll have to pull Tandra into the conversation as well. And then we wanted to throw out relationship building efforts with the grads and the labor committee. We know we exist, but do they know we exist? Do they know that there's a whole group of individuals who are working, who have their best interests in heart, who are actively, contemplating how can they connect them? And so the idea of, hey, maybe we should do a luncheon or a Zoom or a Teams call, with the grads to say, hi, we are, your DB Labor Committee, and we're trying to help you. And what do you feel we should do to help move you forward? So that's a follow-up discussion that we'll be having with Tandra. Then also exploring the idea of creating a mentoring group or a network for the grads. Again, I'm sure this is stuff we've all heard, for a zillion years, but just, I wanted to pick a few things that as our small body, we could try to, coalesce around. And so again, that's a follow-up conversation that we're going to have with Tandra to, again, is DOT already in the midst of something? Was there, we don't want to recreate a wheel. If a wheel exists, we just want to be another spoke that helps that wheel, effectively, operate. Otherwise, it's, is this something that we take up on our own? So, and then lastly, we were visiting the idea of coordinating a job fair with the graduates and the contractors. And as you'll see here, I said outside of the DBE annual event. Yes, we know every year we have the golden shovel and we bring grads up and we do speed networking and it's awesome. But it's also a lot. For those who haven't been there in the Dells, it's, contractors want to go to hear about the new policy and the new bid and, are they switching to B2G or BT tracker? And, then they gotta kind of want to come sit with the grads. So something that maybe is a little more focused just graduates and, where, we have all their time and their attention. So, more to come. And so we just kind of started to unpack that and said, okay, what are the things we need to think about and what's the best way to align this event with current or upcoming DOT projects, because we want it to be valuable to the contractors and the grads. So figuring out what locations projects are happening, because we might need to have multiple events in each region. Not everybody want to come to the Dells, and respectfully, not everybody probably wants to drive to Milwaukee. So maybe we need to do something in Northeast, something in Southwest, etc. John Swan and the whole body, we talked about, Maggie, possibly this is something we should have in January before the annual event, which kind of, like warms people up, but also we're aligning it usually in March or April, was when Walbeck starts to do, their vetting and how good at hiring. And so we wanted to kind of get ahead of that, but be in step with that. We know that National Apprenticeship Week is now moved to April, so there's a limited effort put through that. So with that, we're going to follow up with Tandra, Rosalind, Christina, Maggie, Paul. I think there were a couple of names thrown out of people who within DOT could help us source this information and think about how we could move forward intelligently. Maggie, did I miss anything?
Now, John, what could I possibly add to that? You hit every.
I think I went to the wrong meeting. When you don't go to the right meeting, you get picked on to do a lot.
He put 2 breakout sessions in there. Y'all couldn't have did all that in this last breakout session.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, we had a great, that's what I'll add on. We had a great discussion. I'm so glad for our volunteer chairperson, making things easier on me. And you said it all, John. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you all. And if any questions for any of the one, if that's appropriate, please feel free. Otherwise, turn it back over to you all, to Tanya and Maggie, whomever.
Okay. Thank you, John, for that excellent report. Any questions or comments for either the business group or the labor group at this point? Okay. So moving on to announcements, the last agenda item. Does anybody have any announcements of any upcoming events or points of interest?
It was down the road a little bit, but I'll just jump in. NAMAC has our 10th annual Construction Industry Business to Business Forum scheduled for November 11th at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in the Events Center. So mark your calendars for that. We'll be getting out some collateral material on the save the date tip, although it's a little bit ways off, but the way time has been flying, it will be here before you know it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Roz?
Yep. We are planning as you all know, we moved into our new office. So we're planning an open house for anybody who wants to come see our new digs. Can you guys see the flyer I'm sharing?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
It's Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Our DTSD administrator will be here. She's going to come and visit with us and maybe have a few words. But we're at the 5-9 Bank off of Port Washington Road in Silver Spring. So come on down. We're going to have some refreshments. Come see the new office. So we invite you to that. And also, I know we talked about this. Let me see. Let me stop sharing. I want to move to our save the date for the annual event. Is it a celebration? We're celebrating 40 years of supporting small business community in the state of Wisconsin. And so just kind of mark your calendar. I know we're going to keep talking about it. There's a lot of pieces that I'm pulling together. I'm securing speakers. I went to the Randy Crump event last night and look Lafayette in his face. He's the commissioner of the city development. So he promised he's going to be here. And so so we also want to share with this group. I want to encourage you guys to think about nominating. So we put it out there in the atmosphere. So we want you guys to think about who you think would be a good nominee for the Secretary's Golden Shovel Award. So I will be putting that out, sending emails out on that sometime later in September. We'll be putting together our committee members. So if you have any ideas for a workshop, just shoot me a quick email. Say, Ron, why don't you focus on something like this? And then we'll our team come together and come up with a good speaker. If you have a good speaker for the annual event, you think it would be good for the summit, just let me know. So got a lot of pieces to pull together, and appreciate all your support. Okay.
Thanks, Roz.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Roz.
We got a couple more comments, questions. Jenna.
Yeah, just wanted to flag WRTP Big Steps 50th Anniversary Gala happening on Thursday, September 18th at 5 p.m. And this is also going to double as an open house of our newly renovated Milwaukee office. So we are right off of West Wisconsin Avenue and 35th Street in downtown Milwaukee, a couple blocks, across the bridge from the American Family Field, a couple blocks up from Marquette University. So if you all have a free evening on Thursday, September 18th, I will drop the link in the chat to purchase tickets to that 50th anniversary gala, and we'd love to have you all there.
Great. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate it. Anne, you're up next.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell people that tonight is the next DBE of America meeting. They want everyone to join the fight to save the DBE program. It's tonight at 6 till 7. And I know Stephanie Duncan and a few other people actually went to Washington, D.C. last week and sat in the transportation meeting. to try and figure out what's going on with the DBE program and the lawsuit that's going on. So if you're interested, you can go on Facebook and look for DBEs of America and then request to join. And then the link to the meeting tonight is right there. It's a Teams meeting, I believe. So if anyone's interested, just go on to Facebook, look for DBEs of America and ask to join.
Great. Thanks, Ann. And finally, John, did you have an announcement?
Oh, well, Jenna had kind of already shared it. I was going to put in a shameless plug for WRGB. I don't know if you can see my screen, but yes, our big 50th anniversary is coming up. Jenna is dropping something in the link there. If you've ever been to one of our events, this one's even better than the last one. So if you came to the last one, like, oh, that was nice. Oh, you haven't seen nothing yet. As Jenna stated, this doubles as an open house for our newly remodeled facility in Milwaukee. There'll be some dedications, essentially one that I will name of note. Vince Turan, who was one of the founding members of Big Step. There'll be a lot of history celebrated and shared. Good times. I'm pretty sure food's gonna be tasty. So stop sharing Jenna through that in the link, and we hope that you all can join us and celebrate with us as we look to have many, many more years of connecting family residents to family supporting careers and more great things to come. So please join us if you're available. That's all.
Thanks, John. Sounds great. I don't see any other hands up. Anybody else? Tandri, do you have any final words?
No final words. Just want to thank everybody for their support. And, the successes we're achieving now is because of us all working together. So let's continue to value that. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Tandra. I believe our next meeting is October 23rd at 10 a.m. So it should be on everyone's calendar. And I'd like to thank everyone for their participation today. And we look forward to seeing you in October, if not in the meantime.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everyone.
All right,
Thank
folks.
you.
Thanks, everybody.
Adios
Have a great
y
day.
buenos tardes.
Bye.
Something.
No, I have I
Okay.
can share the DBE reporter. I just know that's what I was just looking for, our email to see what we were going to review during this breakout session.
It's all good. We were going to review the reporter, and here's what I'm gonna do. It's not cheating. I'm gonna be what they call it, resourceful. Let's went to Tandra. Find this email that I sent to Tandra. And then I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna open up a Word document, which I had open anyway, and I'm gonna paste it. And I'll just make it look real big, which will look crazy, but everybody will be able to read it. Okay, so while you're doing that, why don't I do this if it works out? Oh, look at you. Okay.
I'm looking for the page where the
it's like, I know one is page 16.
okay.
Yeah, you gotta keep scrolling, scrolly. I think it starts around. Oh, there you go.
There
That's
we are.
one. There's one of them. Actually, page 11 was northeast, but it all kind of works
Okay.
together.
Got it. So it lists the graduate regions.
Yes.
I hadn't even had a chance to go through the entire reporter yet this month.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Hey, I understand. What happens if I try to share? Oh, okay. Can you see
You
this?
could definitely share. Let me see.
Can
Yes,
you see?
you're sharing.
I'm sharing.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
I just want to share to then set the pretext to the conversation, and it doesn't matter. Y'all read my email. This is what my thoughts. So, as the new chair, I was asked to, provide some topics as to, well, what were we gonna all coalesce around? And so, as it says here, after consideration, I thought it was most appropriate for us to revisit the two top action items from our last meeting, and thereby giving us, some defined efforts and things to work on. And then, and like I say, while not biting off more than we can chew, and given that it's only 5 of us here, yes, I said our small body. Sometimes, your eyes too big for your head or whatever. So I wanted to be doing things that I thought were reasonable, actionable, and really, this is not a new-ish conversation. I've been on this committee for a couple of years, and I think we've either floated this or worked our way up to maybe where we are today. So just in review, this was some notes from a previous breakout session. And one of our goals was to revisit, or as I phrased it, to revisit the discussion we had around strengthening the connection with the HCST graduates, and then also how can we increase, the knowledge of a ready and willing workforce. So I'm gonna stop sharing for 1 second. Maggie, can you throw that back up?
I sure can.
Okay. Oh, nice birds. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, as I was looking at the most recent version, the summer version of the DBE Reporter, I happened to be flipping through and taking a look, and then I happened to realize, like, oh wow, they've got the highway construction skills training graduates listed in here by region. So there's, as you can see, thanks, there's the Northeast region, and it gives the person's name, when they graduated, the month and the year, their trade of interest, which I can speak for WRTP, would imply that they have a LOE, LOI, or on a trade list. If they're waiting to be employed, if they've worked, then obviously they're already a union member. But if they have just completed their training and made application, then they're I assume these people are looking for work, and it gives their email address. And so I was like, wow, okay, here's the graduate information for each region, boom, right in our face, right? Because, and then I'm gonna take back over here again. I'm gonna take back over, Maggie. So in previous conversations, we were all like, well, how can we, get the message, the information, and how do we know who the grads are and this and that, right? And so it just seemed like, resource dropped in our lap that, in referencing this 25 this summer DBE Reporter, had the list of graduates there. So then, one of the things we had previously discussed was like, maybe we could send a list or a link to primes with the bid letting documents. So I guess where I'm going is, now that we know that the DOT, and I don't know if I need to put a name to it, we need to say like Rosalind or whomever, wherever this list lives, who manages it. But we know that now there is a current up-to-date list of grads. The DOT has it, which then could help facilitate our idea of them sending this to the primes within their bid letting documents. And hey, go ahead, Jenna. You got a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering how often these lists get updated.
This is a brand new list. Sorry to jump in, John. This is a brand new list and a brand new idea. I'm pretty sure that it comes from just a multitude of meetings that we've had, and just Roz, hearing that we wanted to make a connection between our graduates and contractors. that are bidding on projects and being awarded and looking for HCST graduates. This was the easiest way to think to do it, but it also was beneficial for the DBE program and the annual event, because at least then this way,
Right.
all of the, DBEs who receive the reporter on a quarterly basis have this list before they attend the event next year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very new. It's a brand new concept. So it's not done often because it's never been done before.
Right.
Yeah. First
But
time
we're
I've
hoping to
seen it.
continue it.
Yes, please.
Definitely, especially because if I think it would be super helpful in hearing you all talk about how to strengthen a partnership or connection between contractors and HCST grads, that they're given upfront a list of who those grads are so that they can, and if they have an LOE, if we can provide as much information about their status as possible, and update this list frequently, whether it's quarterly or even like every 6 months, I think would be super helpful, especially if this list is getting sent out to the contractors, making sure they have the most up-to-date information, knowing that the training providers are providing trainings and graduating graduates pretty frequently throughout the year.
Yep, I agree. I think it's a great idea. I did plan on trying to make this list ongoing, not just a key component for the DBE reporter quarterly, but copy from the list that is already created. And like you were saying, do an update on a quarterly basis based off of the spreadsheets that are submitted.
Yeah.
There's a good thing because I've been doing some dual roles now. So I'm doing labor development work, but just with shortages of employees and different turnovers, with our lovely new administration, I've had to take on some compliance roles and handling projects. And so overseeing the HCST program, but now seeing from the other side of things, the projects, dealing with contractors, payrolls, and all of those things. It's very insightful, but not only that, I now have a new way of being in contact with contractors who are awarded heavy highway projects. So now, I have a little bit more insight and I'm working on ways to be able to get this list included in the bidding documents.
Cool. That's awesome. An unfortunate silver lining.
Exactly. Yes. What are they? With job security, I've heard it called lately.
Right.
Yeah. I think me and Jenna got a whole lot of job security going on right now.
Not to say we need it, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I guess. Well, I'm gonna take that as a positive affirmation of this group, that I think we're all on one accord and we see where this is going, and we now also have the benefit of knowing Maggie in your dual role, whether that's actual contracts or compliance or what have you. But we can probably leverage some of the stuff you're doing. I love the thought process of the fact that we, and when I say we, for Mr. Swan there, us HCST training providers, we have to submit monthly, well, they're kind of two of them, but reports on, graduate progress, trainings, all of those things. And so those information goes directly to Maggie and some of her counterparts. And so kind of what she alluded to, which I second that, Maggie, was taking, this as maybe a starting point, and then, I don't know if we just throw it in a spreadsheet, and then using the reports that are sent in by all the providers to then just continue to keep this updated. Well, what's going on? I have to turn some energy. My laptop is gonna die. Here we go. But we keep this moving forward as a running, living document that's doesn't get stale, and we can, as we're sharing it out. But I just wanted to say that I was sharing that purposely to say I felt like here was a piece of a puzzle, dropped in our lap, and assumed, I'll use that word, that DOT had the ability to share this with the bids and lead documents and with the primes. Not speaking for them, but just, made sense to me. Moving to the next one, so I know we have limited time. Relationships, efforts for or an event with the graduates. Sorry, that might sound like an incomplete thought. So we had talked about maybe doing a job fair, or it's actually on the next bullet point. So relationship building efforts or event with graduates and the labor committee. So really, guess what I'm saying with this one here is not separate from the whole job fair idea. Did we, as the labor committee, want to do I don't know, a luncheon learn. It could be in person or virtual. I think in person is more personable, pardon the play on words. But I know virtual is sometimes easier for people in their schedules. So maybe the first one's on Zoom or Teams, but just kind of getting something together to coalesce, bring the graduates to say, I I would suspect they don't even know there is a labor committee and that we even care about them and that we're doing this work. So kind of raising their awareness and building a relationship with them. So that's really what I was trying to intimate with the statement was relationship building efforts or an event with the graduates and this committee. And we can put a pin in that or take any comments, but just, again, I'm putting it in the atmosphere so we can decide, which direction we want to go. And again, I was trying to pick things that were doable and not like super heavy lift. Exploring the idea of forming a mentoring group or network with the grads in the committee. Again, over the years, I have heard thrown out by everybody, whoever, internally, externally, discussions about some kind of a mentoring group with HCST. I don't have all the answers and I'm not sure. So I just thought, again, this might be something that we as a group want to talk through and see, how that could do. Maggie, I don't know if there's anything going on within DOT, Roslyn or whoever that's already working on something like this. So again, I don't want us to recreate a wheel. If a wheel exists, we'll just can be another spoke. Otherwise, that was a thought. So any thoughts about us doing some kind of a introductory event with the grads as a committee and or mentoring? Anybody?
I think both of those ideas are great. I second them again as discussed in the last meeting. I guess Tandra probably will be a great person to run it past if we all think that it's a good idea on how we can set that up and what channels we may have to go through for permissions or approvals or funding and all those lovely things. Because I do think that relationship building is very important and just letting a lot of our graduates know that not only do you have the support of our lovely training providers, but there's also a lot of background support that they may not know that they have. So I think that'd be a great idea if we are able to make that happen. Just kind of like, I know, I mean, it's separate to their program, but Renard with Forward Service, he every year plans his own, golden shovel award, and that is specific for the graduates of that training cohort, but it's also his main intentions of that is bringing the contractors in with the graduates. So sometimes there's past graduates who have, who attend all types of things. I just think it would be something nice to do as well.
Yeah, man, I wish Renard was on this call. I bet you he'd have some good stuff to say. But yeah, okay, well, let's just we'll as we report out, as we call that an action item, that to follow up with Tandra and whomever she may direct us, however she may direct us to what does she feel we need to do to facilitate something like that. Maggie, I kind of just threw your name next to follow up with Maggie on the links to the Prime, just because that felt like the right thing to do. If you tell me to put someone else's name there, I'll put somebody else. Moving forward, revisiting discussion around coordinating a job fair to get contractors in front of the workforce. Now, for those who don't know, and I think everybody knows, Jenna is kind of new to the HCST game, as I like to call it. But oh, hey, Maggie, pull up the DBE reporters thing with Jake, would you?
Yep. And I just dropped the HCCI website walkthrough guide. Just one more time, that's the guide that is like a walkthrough list on how to find prime contractors that are,
Oh,
have been,
nice.
awarded recent projects. But let me
Where's that?
also, I just dropped it into our chat.
Ooh,
It's just
okay.
another helpful guide. It's
Oh,
something,
let me stop sharing so I can see that. Okay.
yeah, and
I want
then
all the helpful guides I can get.
I definitely understand that.
So page 18,
Okay.
the save the date.
Okay. I just back up a little bit just to, let everyone
Uh-huh.
in our group know right now that here are some success stories. Yes, from individuals
Yes.
that have graduated from HCST. Um, Justin Jordan, he is a graduate from the tribal regions. I mean, I believe that he took his training in the Northeast area with Forward Service, but he
Mm-hmm.
is now he went back to school, he got his engineering degree, and he is now a construction manager, a project manager working with Wallbeck. So I thought that
Yeah,
that's pretty great,
that is significant.
Yep, and I believe that this is the first time that I have seen success stories from graduates
Mm-hmm.
actually in the DBE reporter. So how wonderful is that? I believe Centrell, is he a grad? Oh, he's a forward service graduate
He's Forward
as well.
Service.
I know that there
Yeah.
was WRTP graduate profiles
Yeah,
submitted.
I don't know if it made it into this edition. Trust me,
Okay.
I sent my little couple questions to you, but you said I have to ask Roz. But
Yeah.
I know there's limited space and things. Save some for next time. I am at. I'm
Plus
so
that she
happy
has
to
to get so
see.
many approvals at the same
Yes,
time.
look, listen. You and I both know that this is um what's the word I'm looking for? I'll just say new and exciting. That graduate list, that's new. Those success stories, kind of new, but not really. But the way they're done very beautifully. As a matter of fact, I need to give Roz a compliment. I really enjoyed this edition. But okay, stay on message, on point. So, the reason I asked Maggie to pull up this page, as I think everybody knows, every year the DOT has the Golden Shovel Awards, the DBE Networking Summit, where we always do interview networking with the graduates. And each provider is required to get as many graduates from their region up to this event in the Dells to interview and interface with contractors. They usually also get to participate, attend the luncheon, so they get, some free food and some networking. And a lot of times we do speed networking, which is like speed dating, they'll have a timer and they'll go around the room, round robin. Someone's timing it, they get about, 3 minutes or something like that. And then they have to switch to ensure that every person present gets in front of every contractor present, and all DOT contractors at this event are required. I think I'm gonna use that word, required to participate in this event. If not, arm twisted. So yes, you can stop sharing that, Maggie. I'll go back to my thing here. So
Lovely
yes.
event. And I have heard in some of the discussions with our different provider entities that during the budget process for the new fiscal year that there will be increased requests for funding for specifically for the DBE annual event, which will be nice because what if we can get graduates? What if there's enough funding for graduates to be able to come and stay overnight and not have to worry about, rushing up the day of and just different things of that nature? I think that would be really great. I do believe, at least I'm pretty sure that Tony, I saw that included in her budgeting. So I thought that was really nice.
Yes. Because every year we do provide transportation. We get a bus, a vehicle, and we take care of that. Or for those who choose to drive themselves, we reimburse them with a gas card or some reimbursement, depending, if they can show their expenses, we reimburse them for the gas. So the reason I wanted for Maggie to show that was for me to say, what I'm talking about is something outside of the DBE annual event. Okay. I know that's going to happen. It happens every year. It's great. It is what it is. But if you've ever been there, you also know that it is very busy and intense and a lot of moving pieces. And there's so much other areas of focus, such as, bid letting and new contracting, and the contractors, their minds are bifurcated between, do I need to go to this session to hear about the new regulations? But I also got to come over here and do this thing, So what I'm proposing is something separate that we're going to do that is just for the grads and just for the contractors. Maybe we get them some food or something, but it's the central and sole focus is for them to meet the graduates, to interview. And I think I want to say that, to interview, not meet. This ain't no meet and greet and you could take a resume and buy. No, this is come with awareness of what positions you are seeking to fill. Possibly if they could give us that information in advance, that's great, because we could do some screening and some matching, which is always good. And then that way maybe come up with some kind of quick matching. I think they did that for the last annual event, or we tried to, where if you just look at you signatory to laborers and carpenters, and that's all. Well, we just gonna have people who are laborers and carpenters come over and sit with you versus everybody in the room, and then you feel as though it wasn't as valuable. So anyway, thought we'd have a group discussion on the execution, because again, it's always the questions are going to be, when do we do it, and where hosting, where are we going to do it at, location, resources, who paying for that? That's just, again, these are the questions I've heard for many years, so I assume these are still going to be the questions. But us putting forward that we're discussing it and we want to seek out some answers, such as, is there some money set aside that the DOT can put forward, or do we have to, as a body committee, come up with our own money, put it like that. And I'm sure, I know WRTP, we have our facility. The laborers have a very lovely hall there on Appleton Avenue. I'm not sure what other venues we might want to seek. I think having something centrally located is good. It's definitely not as far as the Dells. That's always been an issue for a lot of people, going way up there. So something that's more easily accessible for the grads and the contractors. And I think if we could start by, I'll move to the next point quickly, getting a list of available, I put workforce providers to contract for job fair. Sorry, that's supposed to say contact. My bad. But basically, who are these contractors? And then I know that DOT knows who does business with them. I'm sure there's a list. There's a list of DBEs and there's a general list. So I'm just gonna kind of put follow up. Maggie, who do you think that's a thing? Whose name? Do we follow up with Rosalind? Do we follow up with Tandra to try to get info?
I would put, you know what? I will probably put Tandra, myself, and Roz, because we all can pull. We all can pull from stakeholders and different resources to attend.
Got it. And of course, I think we also, those of us who, as we look at it, we can probably offer some insights, or we may have connections, I mean, I think it's best to start with DOT. Obviously, it centers around you all, and I'm probably going to say Wallbeck, and you're going to be like, duh, so, but I don't know all the other folks who do contracting with DOT. So, and then just the best way to align this. Yes, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
I can pull and help get a list as well.
Thank you.
All right, Christina.
And also, what I was thinking, I'm sorry I wasn't on in the beginning. I was trying to get Tim into the other meeting.
Okay, welcome.
But yeah, with the list to the primes and stuff, I was told also to like reach out and get each Joma or Paul involved.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Definitely good resources.
Yeah. Oh man, Paul, he's awesome. Okay. Well, thank you. That's great. And then just the last point, I think that I wanted us to, what's the word I'm looking for? To contemplate. The best way to align this event with current or upcoming DOT project. And let me, I guess, explain what I was thinking when I typed that. So we know that for the road construction industry, predominantly, or I'll speak like I was a Wallback person, let's say, work usually picks up for them around May. April, May, June. Yeah, around May. When it comes to like say hiring, May, June, they really start to seem to be actively planning. I'll use that word. I wish Daniel was here. April-ish. So knowing that if we could do it close to when the season starts, and again, I guess I'm trying to figure that sweet spot between when is work available? When do you really need people? And John, Swan, I'm sure you can appreciate and see where I'm going because we've always both run into the fact of where, first it's slow and then we need a whole bunch of people and then it gets slow again. And so if we can kind of, like I said, align the timing of this so that we're not putting people in front of contractors when they're not even really thinking about it. And then the information gets stale and then resumes get, lost in the circular file. So again, how do we time it to where it really is beneficial and we're putting people in the right place at the right time. Anyway, I'll be quiet.
On that same, on that same note, to align with at the right place at the right time is figuring out what locations or where the projects are happening, and that could give us insight into where we host the event. Because knowing that there are HCST providers all across the state and HCST graduates all across the state, I don't know how feasible it would be to have just one singular event where everybody needs to come to a centralized location as opposed to where is the work happening, who is doing the work, and if we're in a bidding process and multiple contractors are looking for work, can we have multiple events in different regions of the state, contract-based or like project-based events?
Okay.
Yes, great. Thanks, Jenna. That's awesome.
Did you have a comment, John? Okay.
Yeah, I did want to mention that, we work with Wallback a lot. You guys know that. And normally Daniel and them contact our office between the months of March and April. And that's just interviewing people and getting them to make sure that they have all the skills that they need to work out there on the interstate, on the DOT work. That's the requirements. I think something like this will be, if we do host something, it would probably have to be before March.
Yeah.
So then they can fit in with that orientation deal that Wallback might have, and get them graduates to work. It would give them time to, a month or two, whatever they got going on, because they got to know that these hours are long. There's no vacation time. So the summertime is really work to 14, 15 hours a day, sometimes depending on what division they're working with. And then kind of give them that relaxation time or prepare themselves for this type of work when they go to hire with Wallback. So I think right after January 1st, I would say February will be a great time to try to get them together to get with these contractors. That's my take.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
agree. If I piggyback off of John a little bit, that the best time to do things like this is probably during the down season, so that they can be ready, when things get to going. But so I just wanted to ask, because of the fact that the DBE annual event will be in February this year, or for 2026, maybe we should shoot for like late December, early January, so that we kind of have our event
Right.
beforehand. So maybe individuals who are able to attend the annual event, maybe their speed interviewing round will actually be like a second interview. Maybe they've already, maybe they've already made those contacts, but not only that, they have a little bit of time, like John said, to get themselves prepared for the documentation they'll need, the licensing, any of those types of things before the season begins, and then also before attending the annual event if they do plan to attend.
I love that, especially because National Apprenticeship Week has now been moved from November to April. And so we'll have a gap. Typically, there's a lot of events at the end of the year because of National Apprenticeship Week that won't be happening this year because it's been moved. So having something for the end of the year that is directly connected with an event that is already planned to happen at the beginning of the year as well, to hopefully start the process of, or I guess end the program year of 2025 HCST and then start the 2026 construction season, I think would be perfect.
Yep, that'll be great.
I totally agree.
Man, thanks. You guys are
got some
making
pretty
it
good
so
plans.
easy. I think I'm liking this chair thing. Okay. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it at first, but okay. As long as I got you guys on my back, we'll be doing okay. Well, yeah, okay. Well, I think that we have kind of sussed out some good thoughts, good comments. Thanks, Jenna. Thanks for the input. Thanks, John, Christina, everybody, of course, Maggie. This is good. I think this is very good. So I think I guess our next step should be, unless, anybody has any more comments or had something they wanted to add. Obviously, if there's an open item or additional, please, by all means, I hope that this would be a situation where everybody feels free to contribute and put forward any ideas they might have. But possibly we should, sit back and let this kind of take form. We've got some follow-up items here as far as, getting with Maggie and Tandra and Christina and Paul and everybody. Matter of fact, where did y'all go? I know I heard your names. So yeah. And then see what that develops our next action item. Unless, again, the floor is open for anything additional while I'm trying to figure out how I lost some stuff, figuring out, because I know I lost some stuff. Here, I'll stop sharing. Maggie, did you have any stuff you want to fill the gap while I...
What I think is great, we are going to be sent back to our main session within the next 2 minutes, but I do think it's good that, we kind of narrowed things down to the list of HCST graduates, to get that in connection with the contractors and to plan an event to make those connections. And I think that's good that, our focus is on these 2 action items going forward, so that we don't have, like 10 action items and we're trying to address them all and not really, yeah, I mean, not to say we all need tons more stuff to do, but the smaller the action items, the more we might be able to get taken care of in our groups.
Well, and I think both of those action items will make good impact too.
Yeah.
If we can get them done.
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm glad. And Maggie, are you taking notes also?
Yes, I just did some brief notes of
Okay.
what we talked about, just to do an overview. You can feel free, John, or I can feel, or I can do the overview when we go back to our main group. Either way, it's fine.
We could tag team.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Awesome job, y'all. Y'all are the best. I like this.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Well, you know, we all do a lot of these. And the one thing I was thinking most of all is that I want to make sure it's valuable. Because I don't know about y'all. I know I got at least 6 things behind me waiting on me. And they won't do themselves. So I figured, well, you know, if we're going to be here, it ought to be valuable and get something out of it and benefit us all. I'm really glad that Jenna's here and joining us. Just because, you know, selfishly, her and I, you know, we're working together, and, you know, she's got a lot of great ideas and all that young energy. Sometimes I get in my old man mode and it gets stuck in my ways. So I need some young positive energy and some open thoughts to help me. And so I know she's going to bring a lot to this whole group. So I'm happy to see she's here. As we move forward, and hopefully some of those, once they find out how much fun we have, and the other folks come back, because look like we're missing quite a few people today.
Yeah. All right, I'm hitting the button.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. And Christina.
Okay.
Effort with HNTB, and we viewed that as very positive. Some good opportunities for discussion and opportunities for growth for our people, and again, just a real good thing. And you know, with all the discussion, Tandra, you were talking about some of the things going on, but behind the scenes and so forth, there's still a need for people, whether it be in consulting or construction or whatever. And firms, especially small businesses, need support and things. So things like mentor-mentee are very helpful.
Okay, thank you, Dwayne. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd just like to say to follow up with what Dwayne commented on and our mentor protege opportunity that was offered through your program to partner with HNTB. Overall, we had good outcomes from that. It's been a win for us. We've developed our younger staff to work closely with their senior staff. On the west leg for the 94 East-West, the west leg that HNTB is leading, we had one of our engineers who his passion is construction management, but he also has a background in he has education and structural design. So he worked alongside the HNTB structural team, and that worked very well because, again, the east leg is led primarily by Jacobs, the west by HNTB. Jacobs has also offered that they would like to bring our staff over that participate successfully on the west leg under HNTB. They wanted to bring them over to help complete the east leg portion. So our structural engineer, again, I'm sure the reports from HNTB back to Jacobs were very positive because Jeff Bowers made it very clear to me that he expects to have our person be available on the east leg once he's done with his construction management work. His first passion, he's out on construction management now in Kenosha and Racine. But I keep reminding him each time he looks at, for example, the upcoming invitations for construction season in 2026. I know he would love to be a part of that, but I said, at this time, we have made that commitment for you to be involved with the East Leg design with Jacobs, and we want to continue also to have you develop in that area to become more versatile and of value to the company in other ways too. And also, this is helping to us to continue building the strong relationship we've had with Jacobs. Before that, CH2M Hill and so on. We've worked again with both of these firms and others for a number of years, and we're just really glad about that opportunity that the mentor protege offered for us on the West Leg that has resulted in us getting an opportunity on the East Leg.
Thank you, Bruce.
So I guess while we're talking about mentor protege, at one point, probably about a year ago, we had mentor proteges in both design, consulting, and construction. I think we had six pairs each. And so as it's all those contracts and those memorandums of understanding are dying down, what would you say would, just picking everyone's brain to, as we're looking, and I know Roz is working with a consulting firm to help us with this, what would you say are some key parameters for pairing the mentors and proteges, and then also for that mentor protege set up to be successful, if that makes sense? Any thoughts on that from anyone? Some deep questions.
Yeah. Well, again, with respect to pairings, I guess, for us anyway, it initially boiled down to the work relationships we had with other firms leading into the offer to participate on the professional services side in a mentor protege program. Our longest history has been with HNTB because, again, personally, and then with respect to my business, basically all of my life, all of my professional career, I've been directly or indirectly involved with HNTB. When I was at Marquette, I worked for HNTB. When I graduated, HNTB made me a job offer, but I wanted to go west, and I accepted an offer to work for a very large engineering company based in San Francisco. But I've stayed in touch with HNTB. When I came back to Milwaukee in 1993, it was to join a company called Edwards and Associates. Edwards and Associates was led by Horace Edwards, who was the president and owner of the company. Horace, from 86 to 1990, he was the secretary for the Department of Transportation for the state of Kansas. And again, HNTB's, I think, still arguably their most significant and key office for them is in Kansas City. And so Horace had a great work relationship with Harvey Hammond and Ken Graham, who are the leaders of the Wisconsin office of HNTB, and he had a great relationship with the staff in Kansas City. And Horace, when he graduated from Marquette in 1946, said he wanted to come back to Milwaukee one day to help make a difference in a positive way at some point in his future. And that future ended up being sooner because of his relationship with HNTB. And so he opened his office here in 1991. I joined in 93. So I've been working with HNTB again since then. So from the days when Andy first joined, and Ashley and Pat Cashin and Brian Swinson and Ken Graham, all of those senior members I got to know personally through our work history over the last 30 years. So it just was a no-brainer when that opportunity came around that our best foot forward in terms of participating in that program lied with partnering with HNTB. they reached out to us more than we did to them because, again, of the work history we had. And over the years that we worked from 93 up to that point, they always felt that our firms provided, we did what we said we could do, and we did it at or above what their expectations were. And I mean, that's just really the key two things. Well, again, like I said, we've also worked with Jacobs, Grafe, and other firms, but our longest history has been with HNTB. But we're continuing to cultivate and keep working with Jacobs. We worked with them on the 43 project, as well as the East-West now, and the Zoo interchange when they were CH2M Hill, and the Marquette interchange. So relationships just really are key to entering into a mentor protege. Best chance to succeed, I think. I mean, other firms come together and they try to work things out, and the chemistry may or may not work, but for us, it worked, and we're excited about the opportunity. If only I had more people, I could certainly be involved with more opportunities with both of those firms and others. I asked earlier about the 175 project. We were on the 175 with Grafe, and I've also partnered with Grafe. In fact, I have a small project outside of DOT where, for the second time, Grafe has been a sub-consultant to us on work that's not DOT opportunity for us. So that came out of our work with relationship with them on DOT. So DOT has been the key factor in my company's success and my professional career, basically, since, like I say, going back to when I was at Marquette and we were doing work on DOT projects even then, when HNTB used to be at 69th and Capitol Drive, which was an easy commute for me on the number, figure which bus I used to take down Capitol Drive to get to work.
All right, thank you for that, Bruce. I have great news. Tim was able to join via phone, so thank you, Manny and Marquise, for helping facilitate that. And so, Tim, so you know, we were talking about mentor proteges, some of the success. Mr. Span, he had expounded upon the successes that he had, and we posed the question, just asking what helps those mentor protege pairs be successful, especially as we're looking to increase them. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tim, if that's okay, David.
Yeah, we have two hands up though, Tondra.
For him to acknowledge the hands, okay?
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Via, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Via phone, I can't see anybody.
Oh, you can't see.
Okay.
So David, do you want to facilitate?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Dwayne had his hand up
Go
first,
ahead
I
and
believe.
ask the question.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
Okay. Thank you, David, and thank you, Tim. And gosh, just Bruce and I have both spoke, but the other thing is I think looking for things where you do have staff who have a mesh with the prime, whether it be in consulting or it be in construction. But I think some of the things where things have worked best are where you've got somebody from your firm who's got good leadership ability and wants to take on more responsibility. And Bruce has been leaned into, we haven't done it for the last couple of years and things, but we put some people through the ACEC Leadership Development Program, and that's been a real positive and things. They get to build relationships. So again, I think the mentor-mentee, some of these things, getting people out there and having the opportunity to build business relationships and to develop their leadership skills.
Okay. Thanks, Dwayne. We have a question, Tim from Rosalind, please. Go ahead.
Hi, yes, this is Rosalind, and this is a question I'm going to pose to HNTB and Bruce Mann. Yesterday, I sent out a DB alert regarding the construction fair that's coming up. We got a whole list of dates, and we got the interviews, and then we have in September 23rd. I think it's the 23rd. I can't remember all the dates, but anyway, I got 2 responses from 2 DBEs consultants wanting to know, well, what do they do? How do they get in contact with the primes? How do they get on a team? That whole thing. So I'm just going to put it out there to this group to just kind of give me some suggestions or some advice that I could share with those 2 DBEs regarding how can they go about participating in the construction fair. What do they do? It's new to them. I just sent out the information. So I know we got Brenda on the line. We got Dwayne and Bruce. So if you guys can give me some advice on that, I would appreciate it.
Sure, I'll jump in. So last year, Apex Del Brazil reached out to us before the construction fair. He came up to our office in Milwaukee, met with myself and Ryan Luck. So 2 former WisDOTers, lots of information, been on the WisDOT side for construction fair many times. We sat through with them on all of the opportunities, what that means, and how to team. We teamed with them on a project in some of the projects that we went after in the Southeast region. I think they were selected for a project last year. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, they got a project in Madison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, in Madison. Okay. So I know Ryan did team with them. So I would say that the top firms that do construction management would be a good group to connect them with. HNTB has been so successful with our interviews for some of the larger projects. We don't have a lot of staff right at this time that is going to be in the construction fair because we won the I-43 project just last interview cycle. So I know Ken and Ryan in our Milwaukee office are pretty committed already and won't be going after a lot of work in Southeast. So, but there are a significant number of other firms that they could team with. And yeah, so reach out to me separately, Roz, and I can give you some contacts and who that group would probably be best to connect with.
Yeah, I have a list of primes, but I have a long list of primes, and so I appreciate that, Brenda. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You bet.
And we have another question, Tim, from Ann.
Let them roll. Let them roll.
It's not really a question. I just wanted to say to Rosalind too, for us, it was just like boots on the ground. You got to go meet with people that you want to work with and go to pre-construction meetings or, pre-bid meetings to meet the people.
Yeah.
For the construction side.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
You just got to go out there and shake hands with people, give them your cards and set up meetings,
Right.
It takes a lot of time, but once you get your foot in the door, that's when you start working with people.
They got to do the footwork, boots on the ground, like you said. I'm always encouraging to attend the annual event, but that's just once a year. But the pre-construction meetings are definitely something that we could do. We used to do pre-bid meetings, but I don't know about that. So
there still are some pre-bid meetings. They're virtual now, so it's kind of nice, easy to go to.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ann, for that. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Ann. Tim, that exhausts all the questions and comments so far. So I'll turn it back to you.
Excellent. Thank you guys for keeping the ball rolling during my technical difficulty navigation. That said, I think that conversation we just kind of were in was really kind of the direction that I was hoping that the breakout went in today, relative to how does DBE position itself to be an asset, one, to gain visibility and raise awareness about the opportunities, and how to position, the company to, one, meet the primes as well as establish those relationships. So, Ann, if you wouldn't mind maybe kind of, anecdotally walking us through the things that you all have done that have been successful in you, one, getting visibility of project opportunities that are in the wheelhouse of your business, going to the different events and, engaging in that initial conversation. I think sometimes even the business owners, although they have their own business, they might not necessarily be the most, affable folks, outgoing, social butterflies. And when it comes to the meeting, the breaking of the ice and things like that, it can be a little intimidating, quite frankly. And so can you just give a couple of pointers, best practices of what you have been able to do and what you found most successful in, one, kind of getting rid of those, kind of fears at the outset, and really just putting yourself out there to best position the company to be in a position to possibly win some procurement contracts?
Yeah, it's meeting them. Like, I like when we do the DBE Golden Shovel, they've got the speed networking. That works really well. You can, you don't have to go to all of them. Go to the ones you think you're going to be able to do work with, where your work area, and sit down and meet with them, tell them what you do. It's a nice little one-on-one. And then when the bids come up, we look at the list of eligible bidders and call them. Just call them. Can I talk to the estimator that's bidding on this project, proposal number 3 or whatever, and say, because I want to talk to them about what kind of work they're looking for us to bid with them. And then just, we've been on bigger jobs, set up actual lunch meetings with people, just go to lunch with the prime contractor person that's bidding the job and just talk to them, about what your capabilities are or what you're interested in bidding and if they can help you in any way. That's about it.
Yeah. Got it. Now, is there any, let's say, rhyme or reason to, I guess, toting the line between being, I guess, assertive and diligent in your opportunity prospecting and being a worrisome pest? Is there a line, or is it, once a week, make sure you make a touch base, et cetera, or, what's the feel kind of for that?
It's mostly, based at the monthly lettings. You look at each month's letting and you figure out what jobs you want to bid on, and then figure out who the eligible bidders are on the project and meet with the ones you want to bid with. And I wouldn't say it's really a weekly thing or anything. It's just as you have time, and, the more the better, obviously, and you'll get to know these people. Once you do work for them, then they'll come back to you and you'll go rebid with them, and you establish a relationship that way.
Yeah, let me refine the question a little bit. So when you do identify that, you do the steps you just delineated, and you find, a organization or a company you want to work with, you reached out, you had the initial contact, you set up, the lunch meeting, and you guys went out. After that lunch meeting, is it uncouth to have additional outreach, or do you just wait and see until they do their selection process? That was kind of more of what I was trying to drill down into.
You just send them your bid, basically, before the letting, as soon as you can before the letting, and they'll get back with you if they have any questions. And if they don't, then you can call them after the letting, because they've got a lot of work to do. So after the letting, ask them if they've used you. And then we go on Bid Express and look and see who actually got the bids at noon on Wednesday. And then we call them, Wednesday or Thursday, and find out if they actually used us, and if so, for which items.
Got it. And in the event that they, chose, some other company, is it okay to call back and say, well, hey, I see that you all have made your selection. You selected XYZ. Can you maybe share some of the things of why, you didn't?
We do that, and usually it's like, oh, they were way lower than you and their price. That's why we had to go with them, or we wouldn't have got the job, But it's always nice to find out, if you're not being selected, well, why didn't you use us? So we ask those questions, and they're hard phone calls because they don't really want to tell you we're not using you, but it's just the way it is. If you bid higher than somebody else, you may not get the job.
Gotcha. And last question for you, and I'll let you leave the stand. When you do have that conversation, the tough grown-up, quote unquote, conversation, do you then, in your next bidding piece, say to yourself, hey, do I need to cut my costs if there's a similarly situated opportunity that's out there? Or do you continue to stick by your guns of, hey, these are what the costs are going to be for me. This is the kind of profit I'm looking to receive here. And I can't cut too much into what my bids are, or else I'll be underwater. How do you kind of navigate those fiscal decisions?
That's kind of a case by case judgment call. If you have some competitor that's way underbidding you, and you go out and drive by and look at what they're doing, and they're not making money at it, it's like, why did they bid so low? They're not going to be around long, So you got to kind of figure out what your costs actually are before you bid. And if you think, oh yeah, maybe I did put a little too much on that for labor or equipment, then you can adjust the next time that item comes around that you bid.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you for that insight. Your Honor, we have no further questions for this witness.
Thanks.
Thank you again. This is a question for are there any hands up? I don't see any hands out.
Not at this time. Not at this time.
Okay.
Tim.
Hand raised.
No. Hey, Tim, and I appreciate, I appreciate that conversation, because, when bids and different things do come in, and for whatever reason, maybe the prime comes under, the DBE goal, we do like a good faith effort, what Jay does, but it's good just to hear that line of reasoning, because that's some of the things that we look at, and we ask them to provide documentation, which contractors you have reached out with, which bids have you received, those different things. So I appreciate that dialogue with that, not trying to put nobody else back on the stand or anything, but I just appreciate that question.
No, because the thing is I think sometimes there's a disconnect. Particularly, I'm thinking from just the mindset of some of the newer DBEs, or those that have been in the game for a minute but have been kind of hesitant to go for the bigger opportunities, because there's the official things, you ought to do this, ought to do that, ought to do that. But then you have the experiential things that are done just by, one, practicing, knowing the lay of the land. But if you haven't necessarily, spread your wings like that, so to speak, it becomes, a bit of a challenge, because you're like, do I say the right thing, or am I rightly positioned, or they won't go for me anyway, so why bother? It's like, no, you gotta at least take the shot. So we're just trying to help folks to get to the point where they can really take the shot, as opposed to cutting themselves off, right out the gate, because they have been, disappointed, or maybe had a situation where they did muster up the courage to go after it, didn't work out. So they said, you know what, I'll just, make my bread in other areas and not go for these other DOT opportunities. That being said, I know at one of our previous meetings, I don't remember if it was a TransAct or one of our previous DBE stakeholder meetings, but the DOT staff, I think maybe Dave or Boomy, somebody mentioned that as we are closing out or coming to the midway point end of 2025 and 2026, there will be a number of opportunities. There was something about some $90 to $100 million, I think, that was mentioned, kind of in the southeast region. It wasn't necessarily east-west, but it was some of the other ancillary projects that were there, which could also serve as opportunities to have a quote-unquote de facto strategic unbundling kind of an angle to it, so that, more of the DBE firms may be able to get on possibly as primes, or if not, substantial subcontracting work. If that rings a bell with anyone, can you kind of dive into that a little bit more to give a update on where that is, and if there are particular areas, be it, asphalt, rebar, fencing, whatever, where there are particular opportunities that are, hey man, you really want to pay attention to this, and it's going to get real hot and heavy at XYZ time frame, so folks can begin to plug in now.
So Tim, I will speak a little bit and mostly just to the strategic unbundling piece of it. So I don't necessarily recall what, you know, specifically what Boomy said, but we certainly are sharing the projects that come forth. Marquise is kind of on top of that, as well as the Southeast Region team. But I think we've had a discussion around strategic unbundling before, right? So in order to bid on a project, even if we unbundle it, so we unbundle it, right? And we try to strategically do it, right? Because we're saying, hey, this is a work code or a work type that we know that we have a lot of DBEs in, and we hope that they can bid on it, right? Well, when for them to be able to bid on a project like that, they have to be registered, and I might not be using the right terminology, with BPD to be able to do so. You can't just bid on a project. You have to go through all of their, paperwork, if you will. And we in the past, we have looked at all of our DBEs and to see who is actually registered or who is eligible to be able to bid on projects. And we only at that point, and this is some time has passed now, so I don't have like fresh data, but there were only like 6 or 7, right? And of those 6 or 7, they went through the process to get, registered, if you will, to be able to submit bids and be the, prime contractor. But pretty much none of them really wanted to do it because they didn't want to take on, remember, I don't know if you remember us having a conversation around them taking on the liability, right? So that is a conundrum that we have, because we certainly wanted to try to, bolster more DBEs to, hey, get yourself ready, get yourself set up so that we can, do this unbundling. Because even with the, what was the name of it? Equity and Infrastructure Project. I know you may remember that, Tim, the EIP. That was one of the goals around that. But so that is something, that is a conundrum that we deal with, that we certainly look for insight and help on that problem. And I see, Ann, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. The last time we bid as a prime contractor was on the Marquette Interchange. They had unbundled like the sidewalk portion on Clybourne Street. We did as our own prime contractor. But then we worked also on the Clybourne project. I think it was with Walsh as a subcontractor to them, which is literally, just over the curb on the same street. So it was easy for us there, but it's just a lot of paperwork and a lot of effort to be a prime on a job. You need a team, and small businesses just don't have the team to do the, environmental plan and everything that's needed and all the paperwork. It's just a lot. There's no way our office could take that on. That would be our only job if we were to do that.
Right.
We'd rather get jobs as a sub and not have to do all that extra paperwork and still, get $1 million subcontracts, It's easier. Then you don't have to do all that extra paperwork. That's the only reason we haven't been more of a prime, because it's just so much extra work. You need more hands on deck to help,
Right.
Yeah.
And with not having those hands on deck, also assuming liability as well. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that, yep.
Yeah.
So that,
I mean,
that
I'd be
puts you in a
working
predicament.
24/7 just trying to get everything, all the paperwork done so we could work on a job. And there's just not enough time in the day.
So like I said, that's
Yeah.
a conundrum we have, because we know
Yep.
that if you are able to, if we're able to strategically unbundle it, and you get that larger pot, right, bidding as a prime contractor, that is going to certainly help the DBE be able to, be even more successful. Because, that's one way that we look at trying to help DBEs, is to expand their capacity and have larger projects. And, these are all things that we try to do. But like I said, we, that is something, that is an issue we deal with. And we, maybe putting our heads together. But we have a DBE here telling us that, what was
Yeah.
the Marquette project,
The
Ann?
Marquette interchange, I want to say in like 2006, maybe,
Right, so this is 20 years ago
almost
that
20
she,
years ago. Yeah.
right, that she bid, and did this,
I mean, we
so,
are able to get bonded. We can get bonded and we can bid on jobs, but honestly, we'll leave that for littler jobs like municipality jobs and things, because they don't have as many requirements up front that need to be done just to get awarded the job. And once you're awarded, before the pre-con, all the paperwork that goes into that, the schedule, the, environmental plan, all the other things. It's just a lot. And unless we had an engineer on staff that could do that, but honestly, they're working for the big firms because that's where they make the big bucks. I wouldn't be able to keep an engineer busy enough here.
right. All right, hopefully that adds a little color to what we're discussing, Tim.
It kind of, underscores some of the layers of the challenge.
Right.
That's really helpful to know. I guess in our last maybe 3, somebody else has something that they want.
I don't see any hands.
Okay. In our last 2 minutes, then there was a contractor, a plumber, we acknowledged and celebrated a success story at our last NAMAC event, which was our 3rd annual construction utilities infrastructure supplier diversity symposium that took place in April. And one of the things that he shared that was a key for him was that the work he did with the larger company was some stuff that they did not do self-perform. And so that being the case, he saw that as a good strategy for smaller DBEs to get with larger companies so that they could actually build capacity and not merely participate. Are there things that we have, given the earlier part of the meeting, where all of the different, activity that's going on, construction work that's going on, opportunities for the DBEs maybe to look for, to position themselves as complementary to some of the work that some of the larger, companies, the primes are doing, so that when they do reach out to them, they can kind of, give the narrative and paint the picture in that kind of way. In addition to the cost piece has to be there, but those kind of considerations as well. Is that something that you all have found, those of you that are on the call, to be beneficial as well? And if so, how have you positioned your conversation to highlight that particular element that you bring to the table?
Yeah, I can say we work with companies that, complement what we do, like asphalt companies and sewer companies, are companies that need concrete work done. And then we ask them, what do you want us to do? Let's at one point they said, we need you to do barrier wall. Nobody wants to do it. Do you want to do it? And now we're doing barrier wall. Things like that. You just have to talk to the primes and find out what they need help with that they don't want to do, and then position your company to be able to do that work for them.
Excellent. And you are a rock star in these streets, man. You are.
I don't mind sharing information. I do want to retire someday, though.
No, that is. I mean, that's great information. And let me just ask this last thing before we get. Do we have any? Is there a countdown on the screen that says you have 30 seconds?
I would say about a minute. I'm just guessing though.
Okay. During the, I guess it may be a question for Ann or anybody else that can maybe answer it, construction side or consultant side. What has helped you, I guess, develop the resilience to continue to move forward? Everything that one does has its cycle, the good, the bad, the ugly. When the times are great, hey, popping champagne bottles, partying, happy hour, cool. When it gets a little bit lean, what have been the things that you all?
There we go.
And he left first, of course.
Yeah.